chapter 4, I'm just not even going to give it a chapter. I'm just going to give it ideology. Ideology, those four terms, populist, conservative, liberal, and libertarian. Make sure that you're familiar with all four of those. Anything else you got? Raisa, you've been noticeably quiet. Any questions? You're good. Olivia? You're tired? Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
If we have a good understanding of the articles, you said that we have a pretty good shot on the other exam.
That's the beginning. That's the beginning. I mean, make sure. Now, like I said the very first day, I want to say that probably about 35% of the exam is going to be article, maybe a little bit higher. About 35% is going to come from the terms, and then the other, say 30% or so, is going to come from those questions. So about half of the study questions from those 3 chapters will be on there. And I think there's maybe about 20, 23, something like that. So I would plan for about 10 questions from that. So that's going to be about 20. That's going to be about 20% of the exam. So really it'll probably be 40, 40, and 20. But the articles, because of the short answers, will probably have a little bit more weight than the other ones. Probably a little bit more weight. Anything else y'all got?
Question 3 from chapter 2. I think I know the answer, but it's what was the difference between the first and second Continental Congress?
Okay, question 3, chapter 2. And again, I'll give you a page number on this. Bear with me
Just
here.
Comparing the Congress on the Articles of Confederation with the Congress under the Constitution.
There's a slight difference on this. Okay. I'm in the wrong chapter, I think. Did you say question 3, chapter 2?
Yep.
Okay. On here, and this is on page 20. I am on the right page. It says, on the First Continental Congress, seeking a way to ease these tensions, representatives of every colony except Georgia met in Philly for the First Continental Congress. They approved a declaration of grievances and urged a boycott of the goods. When you come down, it says just 7 months later, all of the colonies sent it to the second. This gathering produced a more radical agenda that include marshaling military forces and a plan for financing the war effort. So the first one, they were still kind of working with Great Britain. The second one, it was on.
Okay.
So the first one, they're still looking to maybe reconcile. They're listing grievances. We'd like to petition this to them, see what they're going to do. The Second Continental Congress, it's like, you know what? We're getting the military together. We're not turning back this time. So yeah, there's a slight difference, a pretty big difference actually in their tone with that.
How much do we need to know about the Articles of Confederation?
When you think back to the Articles, what did we stress?
13 and 13.
The unanimous vote was something that we stressed. We stressed that the federal government didn't have a lot of power. And if you remember, I had asked y'all the question, if somebody was invading a colony, if there was problems with the Native Americans in Georgia, what would you as Massachusetts do? What would you as South Carolina do? And I think the gist of it was that South Carolina would probably help because they're close and it could spill over. Some people said, I'll help if they pay me. Massachusetts said, it doesn't affect me at all, so I'm not sending anything. And if you remember, there wasn't the power to tax. There wasn't the power to order people to do anything. All of the articles, the colonies were almost like independent countries at that point. So the articles are kind of a small thing, really.
Do we need to know Daniel Shays' rebellion?
Shays' Rebellion, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad thing to have a little bit of a knowledge of. And what really was, when you think about it, what was the #1 reason they wrote the Constitution? Because they started to write it really after the Shays' Rebellion. So what was the #1 reason?
Order. And
Order.
Bringing the states together.
Bringing the states together, order. What threat to order did Daniel Shays, what did he threaten?
He threatened the government.
He threatened a basic principle from the Declaration of Independence,
Pursuit of happiness.
which is
Property.
property. Yeah. When you think back to Schoolhouse Rock, pursuit of happiness according to the Founding Fathers was property. What was pursuit of happiness according to Schoolhouse Rock? What did you always see in that video when they said pursuit of happiness?
Woman.
You always saw a woman?
No attention anymore?
The man was always chasing the woman. So what was the pursuit of happiness?
The woman, I guess?
The woman was the sex, I think, was something that we had talked about in class. But when you think back to it, what was a woman back then? Property. So the pursuit of happiness, property, the man chasing the woman, she was still kind of his property. A lot of ways that you can kind of play around with some of these things. But please, go back and watch those clips, because I'm going to make questions off of the thing today. I'm going to make questions off of the other round robin that I gave y'all. I'm going to make questions looking at this thing. I mean, I'm going to have a number of questions. And in fact, I might even add a few more terms just based on what y'all have asked today. Just to make sure we cover it. Just to make sure I've got all the bases covered. Y'all have done such a good job. So, any other questions that you have? Yes?
The numbers of the budget?
Yes.
Do you know exactly,
You know, the specifics that I was given today, I think were really good. So, you mentioned the spending categories in the groups today. Y'all mentioned the 23,760 and the 20,044. Y'all mentioned the 12 trillion. Y'all mentioned the 38.5. Y'all hit a lot of specifics. If you know more than that, it would impress me. But if you don't, I don't think I'm going to take off. I won't take off for that, because that's really the crux. I don't want you to know that we spent X amount of dollars on Medicare. That's probably a little bit overkill for a freshman level course, introductory level course. So yeah, if you're good with the 12 or 15 minutes that get posted today from the class activity, that's fine. That's fine. You guys have any questions? Y'all are good.
Any other specifics about the budget? I mean, do we need to go back to the posting board and like read some?
No, I don't think so. I thought about that, and there were so many posts, and there really is a lot on this first test. I mean, people don't think we do anything because we only go through a few chapters. But when you go through those articles, you know, there's really only like 3 or 4 pages out of a chapter that's really relevant. When those articles, there's like 30 pages that it's all relevant with those articles, you know. So, yeah, I don't think the posts. If you can show me something from the posts, okay. But I'm not going to ask what Teddy was in favor of or against, or who yelled at me on the post, or who misspelled what. You know, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And of course, who was most likely to be the dictator? Anushka was. Anushka was most likely to be the dictator. So, any other questions? All right. If y'all feel good, I feel good. Good luck on this.